This is the Crappie Connection, brought to you by Redneck Rubber, Power Crappie, Visit Ridgeland, B&M Poles, K9 Fishing, Cornfield Fishing Gear, Bobby Garland Baits, Genco Fishing, Denali Rods, The Direction TV, Top Hat Jigs, Crappie Magnet, Anderson Minnow Farm.
About a mile from the big muddy river, place I'll always remember. Cabin on the lake and a fishing pole. Forever here I'll rest my soul. I can feel my worries drift away from being out in the sun all day. No matter where in the world I go, I'll always find home on the banks of that oxbow.
What's up, guys? Brad Chappell back here at the Grizzly Jig Show 2022. It's still cold outside in the
It's cold in here.
It's cold in here, but we've got another guest for you today, and I'm going to do a little introduction. I haven't ever met him before, and I'm actually grateful I did today.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Blake Jackson here, tournament director for Crappie Masters and Crappie USA Tournament Trails, and appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely. I know it's been some big news here recently about both of those trails, and kind of tell me what you're doing with that.
Yeah, no, so about middle December, we broke the news that Crappie Masters was acquiring Crappie USA Tournament Trail, and the questions have been endless, as you can imagine. You know, what's gonna happen, and this, that, and another, and basically everything is gonna stay pretty much the same, especially for 2022. I mean, no schedule changes, no.
Yeah.
The big thing we're getting, you know, Crappie USA has got an amateur side and pro side.
Right.
All that's staying, you know, the exact same.
Right.
You know, moving forward, the crappie industry, as you guys know, you guys have been in it for a long time now. Everyone's goal is to fish for a living.
Yeah.
And you know, I think our biggest reason of acquiring Crappie USA is it gives us a bigger platform to do a lot more things on, and eventually create a trail out there where it is like the elite series trail.
Yeah.
Where it's really rule protected to where, you know, it's tough to get in, and it's that prestigious trail. You know, right now, in all the crappie trails out there, it's open to the public. I mean, it's pretty much show up, pay, and you're good to go. And, you know, my goal eventually, it's going to take some time. You know, I'm thinking 2024, you'll probably see this, where it's, you know, it's not just anyone can show up, you know, and it's
You got to qualify.
it's a group of anglers. And, you know, one of my big things is you can be good on just one lake, which is good. I mean, there's a lot of great lakes. You know, Grenada Lake, if you're good on Grenada, you're going to be doing good in a lot of tournaments because we'll always be there. But one of my unique things is there's a lot of great lakes out there that national level events don't go to.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot
Absolutely.
of that is the facilities of you know, that the lake has to offer, but also just the pure size of the lake. You know, we can't take 100 boats on a small lake, and that's that's one of my goals with creating that elite series is, you know, you take a core group of guys, you know, the best of the best in the business, and you put them on some bodies of water that, you know, they've maybe never been on, or maybe only a handful of times. You know, where you guys have been across the country on a lot of these main lakes,
Right.
like they're almost your home lake,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. And
Same
and,
time
you
of
know,
year,
yeah,
same
exactly.
season.
You know, March in Grenada, you
Yeah.
know, that pre-spawn bite. So kind of backing up a little bit on Crappie USA. You know, all of that, we plan to never change that. It's going to be merged together. You know, just little things like your membership. You know, your membership's going to roll over to both trails now. But there's always going to be a Crappie USA trail with a national championship. the pro side and the amateur side, we're still going to go out to a lot of the lakes that they go to, South Carolina, Ohio, they kind of hit more in that southeastern region where Crappie Masters is more just strictly south. So we're excited about that, and pretty much for the most part, that's Crappie USA is staying the same. Eventually in Crappie Masters, I would like to see that Elite Series feel to it and take that next step in the industry, where we need to create the stars of the sport, where the fans and followers are get to know you guys. That's my biggest thing is I don't want people to know who I am. I want them to know who you guys are. And then the next thing we know, we're just growing the whole industry, and that's the name of the game for it.
I know some of these guys are thinking that like Texas and California just pops in my mind automatically. We've been talking about it.
That's what I was going to ask you. When you go on the West Coast?
West Coast.
Ooh. Huh.
I know that's probably a big
there's big fish out there.
For anybody that's listening that hasn't looked up tournament results from California, Grenada ain't got nothing on it.
I see a light bulb going off all of a sudden. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, don't put it out of the question. Not this year, promise you that. But you get the anglers, we'll go. Mm-hmm. It's everything's bigger in California, that's for sure when it comes to fish.
I think even Texas. And I don't know why. And I've been really questioning for years, but like Toledo Bend, man, that's just a phenomenal fishery down there, and even Falcon. I mean, there's some big lakes that. Me personally, I always really wanted to fish, but I never had I've been to Toledo Bend and fished, but that Falcon, that kind of, I've always just would like to fish that kind of lake.
I've never understood why every single trail goes this time of the year to Florida, but not Falcon. And everybody says, oh, well, we want to go to Florida because it's nice this time of year. It's probably 98 degrees at Falcon today. And
I see light bulbs going off. I like this.
No, one of my biggest things too is with also kind of flipping back to the Crappie USA side of things is what my goal is we've got to make a change in the crappie world, right? Because change can be tough, but nothing's gonna grow if you don't make that change, if that makes sense. And with the more events and the more of the following of the crappie world now. We're going to start doing things like that, bringing kind of some unique tournaments, some tournaments in different portions of the lake, if that makes sense, or portions of the country. And Falcon down there, I've never been there, but I've heard good things about it. And Toledo Bend, that one was already on my radar.
Man, that sucker's like a small ocean down there. It's
Toledo
huge.
Bend's big and stumpy, but,
Any format changes coming up?
Or you'd like to do one day?
What would I like to see? It's kind of my ultimate goal is kind of what we've got now with the Crappie USA and Crappie Masters, like kind of just outwardly thinking here is a kind of like it's like your stepping stones, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Crappie USA is always going to stay the same. We're going to have the local events with the pro side and the amateur side to get guys in the tournament fishing world and not break the bank. Traveling's expensive, as you guys know. Boat equipment's not cheap right now. It never is. And so if we can give them an entry level event to get in and try it out, that's the platform that Crappie USA has always been at, and then sprinkle in a few of the Megabucks events across the country. So all that's staying the same. But the Elite Series field is kind of my goal of the Crappie Masters vision to make it where, once you're an Elite Series member, you can't just pick and choose what events, you're coming to. It's a 6-tournament field for 24, let's just say, and you sign up for one, you're signing up for all of them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And what that does is, what I hear from a lot of the anglers out there is, locals. That's always a big question. They're like, well, locals just hop in this big tournament. That's hard to compete with locals. That is. I mean, you've got an advantage, but local knowledge can hurt you sometimes too.
Absolutely.
But with that Elite Series field, I would like to, most likely in that, cut down the practice days. to like 2.5 days, maybe, something along those lines, with an off limits period in there. And then eventually, you know, I'll always keep crappie fishing a team. You know, not anything like bass fishing where it's going to be, you know, just one man per boat. Where it's a team, you know, it's a team event still, because the techniques of crappie fishing, a lot of them still require a team strategy, and that's a must. But other than that, you know, the format and everything, I think all that's pretty much going to stay the same, other than the, you know, in that Elite Series field where it's more, we got to make that, they making a prestigious event out there,
right.
You know, and you know, make it to where, say we have 100 boat field in it for year one. You know, my ultimate goal is, you know, top 20 or bottom 25, you guys are, you're going, if that makes sense. And then we've got the next batch of anglers coming up, because, you know, we've got to make that, we've got to create those stories. You know, people always got the newcomer that just comes out of nowhere, just kind of like our first event this year down at the St. John's. I mean, 2 local guys did not have a single piece of electronics.
Tell us a little bit about that, because that had blown my mind
I don't
away.
think we got enough time. I'm talking them 2 boys, probably the most down-to-earth people I have ever been around. But diving into a little bit about that, if you've seen it out there on social media, you haven't seen it all. It was 13-foot John boat, not a single graph on the boat, a trolling motor, a makeshift live well, and 2 good old boys that just love to fish. I mean, that's the definition of what it was.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I heard them say, this is actually the first time we've ever gone fishing without beer in the boat.
100%. 100%. No, I went over, after the first day, I went over the restaurant just right across the street right after weighing, because I was starving, and fair enough, them 2, they caught up after the event that night.
All right, celebrate.
And, yeah, no, so that was a true statement. That was they fish down there all the time, and they said that on stage, and I said, man, that's fitting for them too.
I know what I've seen so far on TV, you're trying to even change how live tournaments are being viewed by the regular Joe. You know, I think crappie fishing is, in general, in the past, and it's changing. And hopefully with your guys' help, it's going to even help it change as well. But from the outsider looking in, it kind of seemed boring.
It does. You know, that kind of goes back to what we, you know, the name of this game to keep growing the entire industry is we just got to get more money flowing through it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't come just from sponsors.
Right.
That comes from us anglers out there, us pushing more product. When more products are going out the shelf, well, marketing budgets are getting bigger. You know, that's simple. But we've got to make that in the viewing aspect of it. That, like, kind of that reality show, where, you know, you want to tune back in. You know, like, we don't want to miss this. You know, like, this kind of brings me on a topic with our fantasy fishing league that we've created for this year. Free to play, you know, free prizes if you win. It's all free and just fun. But what that's going to get is that inside battle between you 2. You think he's going to make the best team, and you beat him, and you're going to give him crap over it, you know. And that's the goal. And then you guys go out on a limb, and you know, not so much the anglers that are in the trail, but the fans and followers out there. You know, next thing they know, they're looking at your Facebook page this week to see if you've been on them before they hit submit on their team. You know, then they're going to be following you, and then, you know, who knows, it's time to buy a rod, and they look over and they're like, well, what's Todd using now? You know, and then that's where it kind of gets back to growing the industry. So that's my main goal, is to keep growing the stars out there in the sport, and, you know, getting the whole industry boosted is my main goal.
So where do people go to sign up and do the fantasy fishing?
Yep, all of that will be on crappiemasters.net, and it's all, you just make you a profile, and it's all free to sign up, and you get in there, and you'll be, you know, we'll do each national event. Like, our next one will be February 25th and 26th down at Lake Darbone. So you can get signed up anytime at crappiemasters.net.
Is it tournament to tournament, or does it accumulate over the year?
So we do one. It's each tournament has its own deal, and then we have a overall You know, so if you miss Florida this year, you're gonna have a struggle winning.
So
England
did
here.
anybody out of all the people that play this already pick the team that won in Florida that we just mentioned?
Okay, so Florida was a little tricky. We did not have everybody for our Florida event. It was not mandatory to sign up like it is now, the 14 days in advance for the tournament. So the whole field wasn't in there.
Right.
But them two boys, they actually pre-registered, and no, they weren't a fan favorite. If that
Then you'd
makes
be leading
sense.
the pack.
No, yeah, and I think people looked on there and they probably had no idea. Them guys, that was their third ever crappie tournament they've ever fished. I mean, they've won all three of them.
Oh man,
They're good.
Yeah.
what were they using?
Them guys were using a basically a cane pole setup. It was a 10-foot fly rod, no reel seat with a tip on the end of it, and tied. I think it was 8 foot of line to the end of it. 8 foot of line of 10-pound mono, a cork and a jig. And they each brought like 3 poles, not a single reel in the boat, and they went dipping the pads. And I will say, them boys could put a jig. If there's an opening in between the pads the size of a quarter, them guys could put a jig in it. They're efficient, and it wasn't. Everyone thinks it was luck. Them guys were good. I mean,
How much did they
were
actually
doing.
win by again? I remember it was pretty good.
He'll know.
Eric Howard's in the back. He's over throwing signs to me.
140.
Yep, 140. Eric and Leanne,
They come close.
they were close there. That was an exciting weigh-in. It was neat down there.
Maybe we can throw a link up of that thing at the end. But
Yeah.
what about Ozark?
Yeah, so we've been staying busy. The supply chain, as we all know right now, it's better, but it's not great. It's one of those things. But this is getting to be our busy time, stocking up dealers. Everyone buying new gear for the year. So everything's going good with that, and it's all going well.
Well, I definitely it's got some exciting future, and that's what we need. Some exciting news in the crappie fish world, and it sounds like you're fixing to give it a little boost to it.
Absolutely, that's the plan. The biggest thing I do is our business is you guys as the anglers, and we can't do everything the anglers want. I get a lot of requests for some things that are just not possible. But listen to guys like you two. Ideas from anglers out there, bring them to us.
Yeah.
Because we want. I'm not going to promise you I can get it done, but I want to get your opinion on it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, with that said, in the comments section of this video, before we forget exactly what he's saying, give us some comments. Tell us some lakes that you'd like to see him go to.
No, absolutely.
Tell him some comments of how you think things could be improved in the tournament world.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. We want to keep things exciting, keep them changed up, and keep bringing that excitement to the sport. And I think at the end of the day, everyone's going to benefit from it.
That's what we're doing. Just continue growing this thing that everybody loves.
No, absolutely.
I mean, I can't think of anything else sport-wise that I could love as much as crappie fishing.
The great thing, I always say about crappie fishing is you can do it until the day you're dead. I mean, it's fun. You can do it with the family. Our male-female category out there in all of our tournaments is booming. As you guys know, as tournament anglers, you're on the road a lot.
Right.
And if you can travel with your girlfriend, your wife, that's fun. And at the end of the day, tournament fishing is a serious sport, but we still do it for fun, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
We're just enjoying living life, and that's the thing we try to bring. So,
I definitely appreciate you coming on today, and we're looking forward to doing some more things in the future with you guys, and just appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys taking the time and having me on here.
Absolutely. Till next time,
Todd Huckabee.
Blake Jackson.
Brad Chappell, holla.
About a mile from the big muddy river, place I'll always remember. Cabin on the lake and a fishing pole. Forever here I'll rest my soul. I can feel my way